we're going to go over how to solve one-step linear equations. In order to solve one-step linear equations, you have to isolate a missing variable or a letter that you don't know what it represents. Isolate is just another word for to get by itself. And in order to get that variable by itself, you must do the opposite of what you see. So your four basic mathematic principles or operations that we're going to start out with, the opposite of addition is to subtract. The opposite of subtraction is addition. Opposite of multiplication is to divide. And the opposite of division is multiply. So whenever you see that operation with a number and a variable on one side of an equation, you want to move that number over to the other side so that the variable is isolated. That's the operation that you're going to do. So for this first one, to solve for a missing variable, s plus 5 equals 18. Right now, on the left side of our equation, we have an s that is not by itself. It has this plus 5. The opposite of addition to 5 is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 5 on both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0. So we're left with just the s. 18 minus 5 is 13. Okay, and then we have y divided by 3 is equal to 26. The opposite of division, or this fraction, is another way of looking at it for division. The opposite of that is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply both the left and the right side by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And remember, we want to get to y over 1 is just equal to y. And 26 times 3 is 78. All right, x minus 4 is equal to 17. Right now we have a left and a right side. I'm going to draw my line through it again. The opposite of minus 4 is to add 4. And the golden rule of algebra is whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. You can't just add 4 to this right side or add 4 only to the left side. The equations have to stay balanced. Negative 4 plus 4 gives us that 0, which is that x that we're looking for. And that 17 plus 4 is equal to 21. And this last one, we have a 4b. And anytime you see a number immediately right up next to that variable, those two things are being multiplied. So there is a 4 times b right there. And the opposite of multiply is to divide. So I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. And sometimes you may see these things being canceled out with each other because that's the whole goal, is to get this by itself. I'm not really a huge fan of thinking it in terms of canceling out, because really there's still a 1b, because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and that's what our goal is to get it down to equal to 1b. You just don't normally write 1 and then b. You just write, I have one single b, so I'm just going to write the letter b once, and that's what that represents. And then you have 60 divided by 4, which gives you 15. So your end result, or your solution to isolating this variable, is as long as the letter is by itself on one side, that is solved for. So that's your final result, what you're looking for.